All right, it says we are live, and it still says midnight. We are not officially not late and gay. How is everyone today?
I'm good.
All right,
I'm
we
doing
have
well.
Runner and we have Spicy. It's been a while, Spicy, my man.
Yes, it has.
What have we missed in the life of Spicy P?
Oh, my crazy neighbor is finally out, and November 1st, we're going to be out. Beyond that, trying to find work.
Oof. Well,
Yeah,
let's send prayers your way. See if we can make sure that transition is as smooth as humanly possible. My God, that's congrats on getting rid of the neighbor. I just hope that they don't follow you wherever you're going.
I'm hoping it's more like we don't follow her, and I don't think we will, because she took off in the opposite direction we're looking.
Excellent. Well, may the fates keep it that way. In other news, Runner has been entertaining a variety of women, from what I hear. Um, Runner.
But I've been a good boy. I haven't done anything. Haven't done anything yet.
No one said you weren't No one said you were a bad boy.
Okay, just saying.
Now
We,
chicken
we,
butt.
we're, we're just clarifying that you have been pursuing multiple ladies since well, not since we last talked, but since
Just
we've gotten
one.
just the one.
Yep.
Ah,
The
Runner.
Catholic girl was a while ago. While ago, before I met you.
I won't continue the same vein of conversation we were having off stream.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'll be nice.
Yep.
I will be nice. Okay. So, gentlemen, we have news. I suppose we could go over that if you would like. Um, latest news is Mitt Romney wants to send troops to Afghanistan, and
To
he
fight
wants
the
them,
chinks.
and he wants them now.
yeah. So this situation could have been completely avoided had Biden actually stuck with Trump's plan for us getting out of Afghanistan. But since he pushed it back, he broke his word. Well, he broke Trump's word or the American government's word with the Taliban, and the Taliban are like, "Oh, you're not good on your word? Well, fine then. Screw you."
Yeah, that's I'm sorry. How do I put this? The whole ethos behind Trump's ascendant to the presidency was America first. And given that ethos, I'm finding it really, really hard to give a damn about Afghanistan. I,
Yeah, me too.
I, I don't know why we have troops there. I don't know why the Taliban is still our problem. I don't know um, what is it we're doing there. I mean, I understand that as Mandatory pointed out, it took us 4 years to clean out Nazi Germany, but we've been over there for what, 20 years?
Yeah,
Over 20 years? Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
I'm done. There's nothing for me to gain here. There's no end in sight. So what are we doing? And as much chaos and mayhem and atrocities are going over there, why is it my problem and why should I care? Is my ultimate question here.
I've been asking
And
myself the same thing.
I'm I I was liking it when we were pulling out, and apparently now we're getting sucked back in because Biden and Mitt Romney's apparently on board. And you know what, may Mitt Romney and all of his neocon friends be the first ones on the front line because that would be a purge worth fighting for.
Yeah,
Oh, what? What are we doing? What are we even doing in there? Anyways,
Because triple canopy and economy won't survive without helping America. I mean, without siphoning money out of the U.S. government's pocket.
Yep.
and good evening, Marson. And that's I. Why do we put up? No, that's the wrong angle because now that we have a Democrat, corrupt, Chi-Com compromised child sniffer in office, um, it's really out of the people's hands how much we get used and abused internationally. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
That's true.
Like there's absolutely nothing we can do to stop being reamed in the ass
Yeah.
when Democrats are in power. Like there's no way to stop that. So I'm not even I'm not even going to. I can't even afford to think about how institutionally and internationally we are being fucked right now because it's eh, oh, hello disavowed, long time no see, my friend. Anyways, back to the topic. So I can't even afford to think about it. Like I'm seriously at the point, boys, where as conservatives, like as a conservative myself, I here's the reality as I understand and how I see it. Um, most Americans lean center right. They're in that quasi conservative area, right? And
Uh, I'm
to,
not
to
100% on board with that, but yeah.
well, I mean, well, if you disagree with that primary assertion, what are your views on it? Where do most Americans lie on the spectrum?
So it's kind of a weird way. It's kind of a hard thing to say because all right. So the way the political compasses shift for most Americans is if you don't agree with the left on things, you are moved right. It's not that they are Republicans. It's that the Democrats left them behind in their ideology, and they're going further and further over to the extremes. And they're like, no, I can't do that. So they have no choice but to pick less stinky of the turds and go with
Okay,
that.
I understand your okay. You're thinking about like the 90s 80s paradigm, right?
Mm, think so.
Okay. Here's my take with that point of view. I agree with it. My only problem was I remember being uh like because I was born in '87 and I was around 12, 13-ish when I started getting like because my grandfather was like a big like Democrat activist. Like he was marching with Cesar Chavez during the union strikes and all that jazz.
Yeah.
And me and him would debate. We would engage intellectually one with another. And he got a one like he liked helping develop and frame my mind, even though we disagreed. He truly was a great man in that regard. He hated Rush Limbaugh, but he always listened to Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah.
Here's what I remember. I distinctly remember the right, the conservatives, even as far back as 80 and 90, basically prophesying that the left was going to get this bad and all the moderates just laughed at us.
Oh yeah, you're
And
not wrong.
here's my thing. As I grew up, I watched in real time as the Democrat Party betrayed everything my grandfather ever stood for. By the time my grandfather was ready to be put in his grave, He looked at my father and said, "If your union, um, if your union strikes, scab."
Yeah.
And
Fuck.
and for those of you who don't know what scab is, it's someone who's in the union who crosses that line and goes to work anyway during a strike. That's a scab. It's a traitor. And that is how disgusted my grandfather was with what the unions had become. So that's how. Okay, if my grandfather was still alive and he saw the ACLU today, he'd vote for Trump. He would be that pissed.
Yeah, no kidding.
Um, so I couldn't say for certain that he would have voted for him in 2016. He would have definitely voted for him in 2020, and God help him if he ever saw I he would have joined the walkaway movement with that the fairy Starka, Brandon Starka, I believe is his name. He would have
Struck.
joined them. Yeah, he would have joined them.
Yeah.
No, well, no, and Martian, that I'm bringing up my grandfather as like that as the as a lesson to the centers. We always knew the left would shift. If those on the conservatives on the right always knew that this shift would happen, but no one listened.
Well, yeah, because it's a normalcy bias.
Like we expected this paradigm shift far early on. So here's so that's the basis of my premises is when I say left, not left, but center right, basic humans who want family stability, uh, some even like some welfare programs just to make sure that we're not being, butt fucked by mega corporations or like antitrust laws having those enforced because we all know they're fucking not. You know, those kind of regulations that protect the little guy, the Steve Bannon little guy,
Yeah.
that's the center and center right. That's the common sense shit that we all want that we never fucking get, no matter how hard we vote.
But we did segue way off into a whole other field. We got to get back to Afghanistan.
No. And
Afghanistan.
I'm working back to that. I
Oh,
promise you
okay.
I am. Um, because because most of America is in that demographic. Like I'm honestly to the point where and acknowledging the fact that conservatives have no institutional power in this nation at all. We don't have education, we don't have media, we don't have entertainment, we don't have the judiciary, we don't even have the fucking legislature. We got nothing. We got zip zero zilch nada.
By the way, there's an update to dumbest states in the union. It's no longer going to be anybody in the South or in the Appalachia area. It's going to be Oregon. It is Oregon now, since I think they said it was reading and math is no longer required for graduation.
Wait, what?
Oh, I didn't stutter, man. Oregon no longer has reading and math as a requirement for graduating.
Let me guess. What social studies do you need to do well in to graduate?
I don't know. I just heard about this like 2, 3 days ago, and right now my laptop, I can't find the charger for it, so I can't really do
Hang on.
socials quickly.
Are we gonna have like the Peter Griffin meme where you pass your graduation if you're the proper skin shade?
Dear God, oof, oof.
I thought you guys did that already, but in different
Wow.
states do that.
Well, it really depends. So I got
No, no,
basically
no. It wasn't education. We just did that to, at the ballot box. We
Ah,
totally
I get
wouldn't.
ya.
We totally wouldn't do that for the for education. That would be ridiculous. Oh my God. So no, 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 no. But back to my original my original little diatribe. What does the right and conservatives have to lose to just start breaking the institutions apart? Is my question, because if we actually create a vacuum, a big enough vacuum that it's filled by average Americans, what incentive do we have to not break the system? Is my question.
Nothing really.
well, Marson thinks a lot. It
Really?
depends on the context. I might get is what I get might get what he's insinuating at. So institutional power is not with the right. The right doesn't have much to lose, other than what little say we do in the political climate, which isn't little. We have quite a bit as it stands. The place where
Okay.
where we're losing is at uh, the social aspect of it. So the
No,
Democrats have, yeah,
I disagree. I think socially the nation is center right. Like I'm like that's we have. Um, what we don't have is the institutional power of having the megaphone. We don't have academia. We don't have the media. We don't have um, what's
and
that
that's where
third
I was
one?
getting at. That's where I was fixing to get at is we don't have
Okay.
those. We don't have the ability to. The right doesn't have the ability to shape uh, the public narrative because even Fox News gets a little lefty sometimes. I'm just like, no, that's not how that rolls. But okay,
No, the the only show that's worth a damn on Fox News nowadays is the obligatory Tucker porn.
yeah,
Um, and that's really what it is. I couldn't help but smile when I saw the left reading about his Viktor Orban interview. That was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful.
Who's Victor
yeah,
Volban again?
Poland, no, Hungary,
Ah,
Hungary.
oh, that's right. With the whole anti thing.
Okay, hang on, guys. We actually have a valid question in the chat. Break what part of quote unquote the system? Okay. When I say the system, I mean dismantling, for example, the Department of Education, dismantling the welfare state, dismantling and just I don't know, hypothetically in Minecraft burning down an NBC news station, literally just breaking everything down and making it untenable for the Democrats or the leftists to propagate their filth. What parents are actually, to be honest, it's literally what parents are doing to school boards across the nation. They are telling these school boards to either get with the program or die in the politically correct way to say it. But that is essentially
Well,
the
get defunded.
or get voted out. So that's yeah, it, it it's it's hitting a breaking point, and you see it through the mask mandates and the CRT debate. That's kind of one of the fissures, but it's conservatives no longer have any incentive to be invested in the system at all. And the thing is, if they were to break things apart, they have the populist weight behind them to win in that tactic, and they need to start embracing it more. right.
It really depends which area of the country you're from. If you're somewhere like Florida or somewhere in Georgia, yeah, that's a good point. But if you're somewhere in like ah, what's another Democrat state instead of California?
No, New York,
Michigan.
Yeah,
Michigan.
Michigan. Yeah, if you're somewhere in like Michigan, you might get a few people, but yeah, I don't
Oh,
think.
You know,
hold
I'm
up! I
I'm
got
actually
one. I got one. I got one for Marson friggin' federal student aid. So the incentive to dismantling federal student aid is colleges will actually have to charge what they're worth instead of blowing the prices out of the water. Because I see that a lot right now too. If I
I mean
wanted, give you an
yeah.
example, if I wanted to do electronics or HVAC in a college, it would have been 4 years. I had no problem with that, but it would have been 4 years at $40,000 plus. Well, holy ballsack, I can't afford that, not even with my GI Bill. But because I went to a trade school, I was able to afford it. Huh? You have a loud cat, must be in heat.
Mhm.
But because I went to a trade school, it only took me a year to get my to do electronics. And after I graduated that, I was able to go over to HVAC, AC, and heaters and whatnot. I was able to finish that off, and I have no debt now. But because these federal student loans and student aid is guaranteed to certain students or all students, then the colleges just jack up the price, and you can actually verify that by looking through the past how much colleges cost while also factoring in inflation.
And let's be honest, what good does the education do for conservatives, and they're just churning out activists, leftists, communists.
And you're
So
completely right. I have to agree with you. The
and
college ideology is completely
and
bankrupt
the
to
and the
left.
whole point is, if we were to completely eliminate the student the FAFSA,
Yeah,
it would cut funding and attendance to those schools by about what? Well, what do you suspect? I'm thinking as high as 80. I think 80% drop out if we cut FAFSA.
I'll have to agree with you. It would definitely curtail the
Oh yeah, the
excessive amount of college degrees. Hell, over in Germany, if you're a citizen, like if I was to move to Germany right now, I could go to college for free. Well, the market in Germany for somebody with a college degree is so saturated that some businesses actually require you to have a business degree for running a frigging cash register. Well, what the hell's a
What?
damn
oh
yeah,
that's ridiculous. Are you kidding me?
yeah, it's completely insane. But here, you just don't have to be a shithead and be able to do math. You can't do math, bring a damn calculator, and then count out the damn change, and you're good. Also, don't steal.
Yeah. Well, it's Germany, so who knows what their standards on that are. Um,
I don't know. I
I'd
have no
imagine it'd be
idea.
I imagine it'd be pretty harsh actually. Um, oh yeah, yeah. So no, I do imagine that if we cut FAFSA, we could cut the indoctrination camps down by 80%. Easy. Especially if you consider the what um Steve Bannon said during the monk debate a couple of years ago, that the
Yeah,
average American can't save more than $300 a year if they're lucky.
I can't even say that shit.
I know. So
Fuck.
if Americans can't even, if the average American can't even do that, you know they can't afford college.
Yeah,
You know that all these get ghettofied For everyone from the ghetto to middle class can't afford college. You would cut attendance by 80%, and then everyone would have to, well, let's just say that the job market and the workplace would have to adjust accordingly, which which is just gonna mean a whole bunch of base adjustments all around, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
So, no harm, no foul. So why not do it? That should be one of the first things that the right should be posturing for. Um, and yes, we spend so much time posturing in social media. Yes,
And
it's
we are a very materialistic society, a very disposable society too, which is probably one of the issues we run into because you're not willing to fix something, then you're just willing to trade it out for something new. And I think that has a lot to do with the way most people's relationships pan out too, because I know the divorce rates are absolutely insane these days.
it's weird because it's a combination of things. It's not just that it's disposable, and it's not just that um we like to overthink shit.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Don't accuse me of overthinking nothing. That
Oh, I know.
insinuates I'm
No,
smart.
no, no, no. I have spent, because I'm on a 30-day Facebook ban. I'm away from my friends and family. So what do? I start trolling Twitter. So this is
Well,
my
you got
bad.
cancer in the eyeballs.
This is my bad. This is my fault. And I follow a lot of people on the right, and what I do is I find like my favorite commentators on the right who are like well known for exposing themselves to both sides. So I find the people I like most who follow both sides, and I follow who they follow left and right. So I have a nice aggregate of cancer on Twitter. So okay, so I'm on Twitter, and I'm seeing these discussions going on among the among academic agent, and I like academic agent. I really do. And I even like some of his formulations, his ideas. They're very interesting and correct. A lot of it is correct. But the people around academic agents sometimes are mentally deficient,
Yeah,
and it's in an attempt to to extract something uh pure, and I hate that. Like there's a Christian notion that truth is light, and the best description of what these people are trying to do is the 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 um the scientism the scientism process of taking daylight, something that is um broad, generalized, and generally true, taking a magnifying glass and focusing it into a singular point and saying, this is the true and focused, purest uh, idea we have on this point, and then saying, if we apply this as generally as sunlight, nothing bad will happen. And, the general atrocities of scientism occur. You try to take a hyper focused truth and apply it generally, and things get fucked all to hell.
okay. Trying to follow along, but I'm having a hard time.
I apologize. I know I'm speaking nonsense. Um,
Let's go back to Afghanistan.
Yes, let's go back to Afghanistan. Let's get our bug out bags and hop on a boat. Anyways,
Oh. Okay.
so back to Afghanistan. Give me more on your take on that because I don't, I don't care.
Well, so at this point right now, that some of the situations that have developed is a lot of the Afghani military cops and all that. Taliban's rolling into town and they're just giving up. They weren't really committed to trying to be free or anything like that themselves. They didn't care. They don't.
Hmm.
They don't want it. They don't know. They don't miss what they don't have.
Yeah.
So right now, Kandahar is the embassy in Kandahar is trying to evacuate. With that, it means an influx of troops to hold back the heathen hordes while the embassy is busy burning all the sensitive documents that the CIA has stashed over there.
Oh Lord.
But besides that, I distinctly remember Trump way back when, 2016, 2017, saying we're drawing down troops. Well, they told him we're drawing down troops, and what actually happened was they increased how many troops were going to Afghanistan, and they ignored Trump's order.
Yeah. That,
Well,
and I'll be
hold up.
honest.
Well,
Of
at
all,
least the Taliban are fighting for what they believe in. In my opinion, it was wrong of us to bring democracy to a place that either doesn't fight for it or doesn't want it. It's not that they don't want it, it's they don't believe in it.
yeah.
Afghanistan is a very tribal country. There's when I went over there, there were people that had no idea or they had no concept that they were part of a country called Afghanistan. They were
Oh really?
they were part of a tribe, or they were part of a town or a province within Afghanistan, not Afghanistan as a whole country. They didn't care about the betterment of Afghanistan, just their own people. I
That
completely
makes
understand
sense.
that. I completely
You know,
understand that.
can we take a moment and pause at how wholesome that existence must have been?
Well, so no, an issue we ran into was certain individuals in, like, let's say, the Afghani police force or even the army or their national guard didn't actually they weren't qualified for the position. It was just a family member. Nepotism was a very big thing that we ran into over there. Instead of promoting the guy that was most qualified for the job, they
Hmm.
did they didn't, and they just promoted their own family. The same things, the same kind of stuff Saddam was pulling, and that would
Well,
create a lot of problems too.
we're talking about. You were talking about how it's very tribal, and there's been studies and stuff I've heard that the Middle East, well, a good chunk of it is mm, mm, more developed as a medieval style country.
Uh, Give me a second. Let me think on that.
Well, and here's my thing. I'm not sure if I could compare uh random tribes or isolated tribes to Saddam because let's be honest, Saddam at least had resources to not be nepotistic. I don't think these individual
He was
tribes um
he was
r-
nepotistic to a point. He
So
didn't take it to its.
Saddam didn't just promote people within his family, like his sons Uday and Qusay Hussein, but he promoted people in his tribe. And what that caused was uh, favoritism towards one tribe over another. I think Saddam was Sunni, and the other one was Shiite. the Shiites were getting the raw end of the deal, getting gas, getting mass executions, very genocidal stuff. But at the same time, because he was doing that, Iraq stayed relatively stable. Well, Afghanistan, everybody just kind of left each other alone, somewhat, minus the Taliban, and the Taliban went around enforcing the rules. Well, now that the Taliban's back into play, they're going to do, well, it's possible that they're going to do what they did before we even came into the picture, which is a whole bunch of atrocious shit that nobody wants to happen, but it's going to happen because the Afghan people are
Well,
completely unwilling to pick up the rifle and fend for themselves. And after 20 freaking years of giving them the ability to do that, willing to train them, willing to fund them, willing to equip them, giving them everything under the sun, right down to our old surplus Bradleys and Abrams main battle tanks, they're not doing it. And they're not going to do it. They don't want to.
then it's no longer my problem. I mean,
It's not our problem. We should have pulled out a long time ago. After Osama bin Laden was dead, that should have been it. We should have fucking left. But what ended up happening was a whole bunch of corporations like Lockheed Martin, Cessna, and the military-industrial complex came into play, and they were making a fuck ton of money, and they didn't want us to pull out because they were able to make so much money. And now we've got Chinese influence happening in Afghanistan.
yeah,
Possibly,
I'm just gonna make a random statement, and I'm not sure if it's valid. I It should be illegal. It might already be illegal, but U.S. military movement should not be determined by a military contract, if you get what I'm saying.
uh, yes, it also shouldn't be dictated by politicians. It should be dictated by
Indeed.
generals. But again,
But
we run into this problem where some of these generals are getting promoted into positions they don't belong in because a general is just another form of politician.
mhm.
Eventually, you run into a general that is a soldier, but they're few and far between.
Oh,
And
I'm sure.
and if you want a wartime general, I think you got to go all the way back to Patton. Patton was a wartime general, but anytime there was a war, they needed to get rid of Patton. Um,
Yeah,
another
they
one,
did the same thing with Chesty Puller. I was listening
yeah.
to I was listening to Don's stream that day. I was listening. I
Oh,
was there.
I didn't listen to Don String for that one.
Yeah, he
Patton
That's
was
just me reading.
fairly controversial, but I know what you mean.
How is Patton controversial?
No, I'm thinking of right. I knew Patton said a few interesting things.
Oh, that we fought the wrong enemy.
Yeah.
How is that
No,
controversial?
uh,
He was
that's
right.
For the
uh,
time.
so. It's not that we fought the wrong enemy; it's that we didn't keep fighting. After,
Agreed.
after
Agreed.
Germany got its shit pushed in, should have gone after the Soviet Union too. But at the time, well, no, not even at the time. If we were, no, even at the time, they outnumbered us manpower and armor. We wouldn't have been able to fight that. Hell, air power too. They had us outnumbered on every front except for weapons. They could outproduce us in every way, shape, and form.
I'm sorry. Say that again, man.
The Soviet Union at the time could outproduce us in every way, shape, and form. And it didn't even have to be good production. It could be shit production. Just literally clog our barrels with their remains.
Mm. You know, it was interesting. I watched V's video today about just on basic like morals and ethics and uh a code of conduct that pilots World War II pilots took on for themselves. I'm pretty sure it was World War II, where they had a code of ethics called the Sky Knights Code or something like that.
They wouldn't
Some gay
shoot
shit.
until they're under the canopy.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, the only people that didn't listen to that was the Japanese. I want to know how the hell the Japanese skated by without getting
No,
hammered
no, no,
with
no, no,
choke
no.
trauma.
That's not true. When the Nazis fought the Russians or the Soviets started shooting under the canopy. And so the Germans were like, "Oh, well then, fuck you too." And so the
Yeah,
Germans returned the favor. And so it's interesting that, of all the factions to break the code, the Soviets were first, which shouldn't be that surprising that the Nazis had more honor than the Soviet.
it's not surprising
To
at
be
all. What
fair,
is, yeah,
to be fair, they were both vicious to each other. It's not
this is true.
surprising.
Yeah, but you have to understand. Um, even the idea between not shooting a pilot who was parachuting from his aircraft was generally because he'd land down, he'd get captured, he was fine. The Germans wouldn't even fire um on those on the British soldiers who were parachuting over their own country.
That it depends. So there are a couple events where the German pilots would actually hold off British troops while the other, and this pertained to the bombers, while some Germans were holding off the British from capturing them in the plane, there were other Germans in the plane that were actually busy prepping explosives to destroy sensitive equipment. And once the explosives were prepped, then they would throw down their guns and head out.
Hmm.
And I
So
think, God, I can't remember the name of the guy. He was a uh, he was a captain, and he managed to run in after the Germans surrendered and managed to disarm some explosives. And I think that point on, the Germans stopped holding them off. The German pilots and crew members stopped holding them off because they knew it was compromised now.
all right. Oof. So yes, back to Afghanistan.
What a clusterfuck! Should have pulled out a long
um,
time ago, and politicians shouldn't be in charge of wars in any way, shape, or form, no
yeah,
matter
put
what
Romney on the front
happened.
line. That's my whole stance on that.
Man, ain't nothing gonna get done.
Romney and all the neocons and rhinos, front of the line. You fuckers are signing this shit.
And
Let
now the tricky part is we're probably going to be getting into some heavy shit with China and Russia, and we're not set up for that.
no, we're not fighting. We're not fighting China. Come on now.
Oh yes,
Come on,
oh,
man.
we're going to. We're going to. If it's not with this president, it'll be with the next one.
No, no.
Depends on how much of an
Clearly
approach.
not with. Yeah, come. Okay. Mm, I don't even know if Kamala has the knees to be
Camel,
able to
camel
fight.
toe, camel toe has no needs or wants or desires. She just wants to try and get her heels into Biden's seat. That's all.
I mean,
She's just a puppet, and Biden's a damn placeholder.
talk about. It's amazing though. It is truly astounding when you think about it. There is a woman in this world who literally sucked dick
To the
to
top.
get to the second to being the vice president of the United States. If that ain't
Glass
pussy privilege, I don't know what is. Like
glass
I'm
ceiling theory out the window.
I know. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like every time I think about it, my mind is just blown. I don't I can't get it. She literally sucked dick to the VP, possibly presidency. That is truly astounding.
Yep.
What do you
After
even say
shit
to this?
talking him. After
Huh?
shit
Oh,
talking
speaking
him as
of.
thoroughly as she did.
I'm I'm sorry. Come again? Come
Shit
again,
talking
Spider?
shit talking him as thoroughly as she did, calling him racist and all that jazz, and she never even apologized for it. It's just a debate.
Oh,
Let it go. Are you kidding me?
now,
Speaking of going to Afghanistan, coming to Australia gets back to Afghanistan back with you guys. That'll be interesting.
Do what?
oh,
If
he's wondering if Australia will join the U.S. in jumping back in Afghanistan.
no,
I
we
have
are. We got a treaty saying we have to go into every single war you guys.
no. You Kangaroo Jacks are on lockdown. Well, where are you going?
Uh,
The military's not on lockdown.
this is true.
Details, details.
We were in Vietnam.
Uh,
Yeah, look how
man,
that comes out.
okay,
Just
so okay, so Runner, since we have an Aussie here, how bad are the lockdowns in your area? Please
uh
reveal.
not as bad as everywhere else, but we still have to wear a mask to go outside.
I don't even do
If
that.
so, are you in like the one of these wealthy areas I keep hearing about?
No, not really.
Okay, all right.
He's got to watch out for spiders and whatnot.
Well, ladies and
Spiders are
gentlemen,
not that scary.
th- that 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 right there was the biggest case of Stockholm syndrome I've ever heard.
No, snakes
No,
are
no.
fucking scary.
Yeah, but God, are they delicious?
Well, the only reason you don't think spiders are scary is because you're used to them.
That's true.
Shit, I don't think
To be
spiders
fair,
are scary.
there's a lot of big burly men that I know of who are scared of spiders.
Shit, I don't think spiders are scary. They're just really hard to hear during the middle of the night when you're trying to sleep.
Yeah, I'm the designated spider killer, so that's kind of my job around the house.
Ah,
Spider hunter.
Oh, my wife started killing spiders a while ago. I'm really proud of that one.
Hmm.
Only if I absolutely have to.
She said only if she absolutely has to. Oh, by the way, she also said hi.
hey,
Hi.
They said hi.
Yes, we did. Oh,
Nice job, by
guys.
the way. What's up?
Apparently, now and this is something that I learned earlier today on Use's stream with Violence is Life. You guys know Violence, right?
Yes.
kind of.
Yeah, she was
I
on
hadn't checked one.
she was on a stream with Yiz today about the heathen religion. I can't remember what it's called. Astaru.
Yeah, my favorite. What's up?
Yeah.
A
So
Satru.
okay, that one. And um uh, and because we're talking about snakes in the chat, Marson says snakes are cool. Um, I learned that the snake and the swastika have a similar, shall we say, um, a similar historical degradation in terms of their status as divine symbols. Apparently, if you go back to the original Norse interpretation, the swastika is simply the sun.
Okay, so go back. The most prevalent display of that is if you, and you can see, you'll see it mostly on uh, tanks and half tracks.
Are you going to say India?
No, look up. Uh, I think it was called the Nordic Division or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
or Nordswaff, something kind of like that. They had this symbol on their hulls called the Sun Wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the other example I can give you that has nothing to do with bad people from World War II is going to be there's a band called Hai Lung, and one of their lead singers on his antlers, he has sun wheels on top of the points. Also, if you need a reference, you can look up real quick. But yeah, it's just a symbol for the sun,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak. When it comes to runes are a little funky in how you lay them out because depending on how you lay out the runes, it doesn't just mean letters or sounds, but it's also the effect or power that that rune has, the influence that the rune is trying to convey. That's how allegedly the spells are supposed to work, or
Hmm.
blessings, incantations, so on and so forth.
Well, it's also a similar theme that I've noticed with snakes. The snake or the serpent, um, you know, is commonly recognized as like the symbol of Lucifer, the son of the morning, yada yada. And yet we also see one of the biggest examples of this was the brass serpent lifted up by Moses, that which would cure the camp of Israel when they were bitten by fiery serpents. And
Yeah.
so this was, another Christ-like symbol that was apparently lost time. And because Genesis is translated from whatever language the Jews spoke during that time, um,
Yeah.
if you actually read the original like unsymbolic translation, Satan simply appeared as a beautiful man, not as a serpent. Like there was no snake in the garden,
Okay.
kind of deal. And so, the symbol of the serpent being a divine symbol or a good divine symbol, and there's a there's a parallel there between the serpent and the swastika, which I find to be interesting.
Oh,
Just
also,
interesting.
I do have to correct. I was wrong. It wasn't Nordic or anything like that. It was Viking, as in Wiking, the Fifth SS Panzer Division.
Okay. All right. So it was a particular
Yes,
Panzer division.
yes, a very, very particular one.
Was it the most popular one? The most
The least homicidal.
really?
No, oh no, no. I was that was a question, not a statement.
I don't know. I do not know what was special about that division that made the swastika so um shall we say analogous with Nazism.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure a funny mustache nut job, one testicle nut job, is what did that for the most part. Let's see here. Yep, they even have their own special little section of war crimes. So no, they weren't nice guys either.
Ah, interesting. Was it copper? I could have sworn it was a brazen serpent.
For what?
In numbers in the scripture given.
Oh God, you're making me dig way back.
No. It's in the. I've highlighted it. You don't have to go and look for it.
Oh, okay, let's see here.
Yeah. So anyways, okay, we're hitting about the hour mark, gentlemen. Do we have any closing comments or concerns or anything else we'd like to bring up before we close?
No.
Nah, we're good. Runner.
I don't want to go back to. I don't want to go to another forever war. Well, I don't want any country to go into a forever war. That's all, really.
Well, the neocons are cucking and the neolibs are schmucking. So
Ooh, I found it. So Moses made a bronze snake and put it up on the pole. Then, when anyone was bitten by a snake and looked at the bronze snake, they lived.
yes, that is the general gist.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sean Stryker, remember Patriots, we will win. Yeah, I'll if they fortify the elections during these upcoming midterms, uh, I guess we'll just bend over and take it again like we did January 6th. So, yeah, there's
Oh,
that. Um, you're welcome for the black
Oh,
pills,
have you
ladies
heard
and
about
gentlemen.
what's happening in Texas?
Oh, well, what's happening in Texas? Please tell me.
The whole
Democrats?
voter ID thing from memory.
Oh,
Voter ID thing in Texas. Please do continue.
Yeah, they're gonna vote on if Texas should have voter ID or not, or something to that effect.
I'm pretty sure Texas already does voter ID.
Uh, or making the election more secure. I'm trying to remember which
Oh
one.
yeah. They sent out arrest warrants for the Democrats. So if they come into the state, they will be arrested and come back to session and do their damn jobs. That's what that does.
dereliction of
Ah,
duty. They should be fired.
They should be fired, but they're elected officials. So I
Well,
mean,
they failed to represent their constituents. I would say that could be construed as fraud.
well, that would be a legal argument for the attorney general to present. I don't think that's ever been successful, but hey, as I've said before, mafia tactics should be applied whenever possible. I don't think any of these Democrats or their staff should be paid by the government of Texas so long as they are absent and derelict in their duties. Hit them in the pocket. Do what Florida man did.
Yeah.
He lost the court case where they said you can't stop school districts from mask mandates. Well, fine. As long as they have mask mandates, I ain't fucking paying them. You know what? Mafia tactics are valid, and the right needs to do more fucking of it. So get to it.
Oh,
Um,
NBC News, as of 13 hours ago, federal judge won't block Biden administration's new eviction moratorium.
yeah, and Stryker brought up Cuomo. Yeah, Cuomo got Fredoed. Nothing new.
Yeah.
Cuomo got Fredoed, and it was a beautiful thing. The moment the mafia has to realize that one of their two Goombas got Me Too'd.
Oh, I also found out that a certain crack smoking degenerate that nobody likes, who's the son of the big man, he didn't just lose one laptop at
No, he lost
Kroger.
another one.
No, he lost
wait, what?
three.
He lost three.
3 consecutive laptops, all lost in Russia.
Oh, Lord.
Oopsie.
Yeah, no kidding. While on a drug-fueled binge and orgies.
Fun, which is why we will continue to get reamed in the ass internationally. And I'm...
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's going to be interesting. I can't wait for midterms. I can't wait for, 3 more years so we can get this sack of shit out.
Yeah, hopefully.
Guys, I'm calling it.
Yeah.
I'm calling it. We are done with this stream tonight.
Yeah, you
Alright.
seem tired.
I am. It's been a long day. I worked from 6 a.m. to 6:20 p.m. And right now, I'm going to close off this stream. I'm going to turn on my Xbox. I'm going to play some Hollow Knight because that's where I'm at right now. So, peace out, gentlemen. I've loved the company. I love the chat. Everybody, stay carnal and God bless. Good night, everyone.
Good night,
Remember,
dude.